God is trying to reach you, and you always skip God. Don't hurt him by ignoring this. Something unexpected is going to happen in 30 seconds. I know life has been unkind lately. You've carried more than you should have. Your strength is worn thin, and sometimes you wonder if anyone sees how hard it's been to keep going. But God has seen every single moment. He's watched you weep alone. He stood near as you broke silently behind closed doors. He's been trying to reach you, not to scold you, not to punish you, but to help you to lift what's been crushing you. But you keep scrolling past his voice, ignoring the light, because the dark feels familiar now. Don't do that again, please. This time, stop. Breathe. Let him speak. If your heart is even slightly open, comment 1111 to agree with this right now. Something is about to shift, not because this video is magical, but because your heart is finally still enough to receive what God's been preparing for you. He's not a distant God who just watches from above. He's a loving Father broken over the distance you've allowed between him and your heart. He's not angry with you. He's not punishing you for your pain. But he is aching for you to turn around, to come back, to stop tuning him out when he's the only one who truly knows what's coming. The reason this matters so deeply is because your life is about to enter a moment that could either move you into peace or further into chaos. And your choice right now to listen, to open your heart, could change what happens next. God never forces his way in. He knocks. But if you don't open the door, you can't receive what's behind it. You felt empty for a reason. You felt like something is missing for a reason. It's not just stress. It's not just bad luck. It's spiritual. You've been unplugged from your source. God is the power you've been disconnected from. There are blessings with your name written on them. Protection you never even realized was already covering you. But you've been walking blindly, unaware that the very thing sent to destroy you couldn't touch you because God stood in the way. You don't even know how many accidents didn't happen, how many betrayals were blocked, how many breakdowns were postponed just because he said, "Not yet. They're not ready. I'm still reaching them." You were chosen, not just wanted, but handpicked. Out of all the people, all the souls in the world, he keeps pursuing you. Doesn't that mean something? You didn't have to hear this right now, but you did. That alone is proof that God hasn't given up on you. Even when you've pulled away, even when you've cursed his silence, he's still calling. And he's not giving up until you finally realize he is the only one who's never left. God's presence has been so near lately, but your heart has been too loud to notice. The anxiety, the noise, the scrolling, the comparing, the chasing, it's drowned out the still soft whisper that has been trying to calm your storm. You don't need another escape. You don't need another distraction. You need restoration. And that comes not from the world, but from the one who made you. God's not mad that you've been distant, but he's broken that you don't trust him enough to come close. He's seen you run to everything else, to people who let you down, to habits that leave you emptier, to ideas that promise peace but bring confusion. And through it all, he's waited because love waits. But now time is moving, and something is coming that will shake the very ground you walk on. He doesn't want you caught unprepared. He wants you anchored in him before the wave hits. Like this video, if your heart is open, you may not even understand why you feel the pull right now, but it's not just emotion. It's the Spirit of God speaking to you in the middle of your wandering. You've been praying for signs, for direction, for proof that God hears you. And here it is. You didn't stumble here. Heaven placed this moment in front of you because you're standing on the edge of something big. A breakthrough, a redirection, a healing you didn't think possible. But you won't see it unless you slow down and listen. You won't receive it unless you open your hands and let go of the things you've been clinging to so tightly. Is it possible to attract money by simply speaking some miraculous words? This 9-word script, verified by Harvard and 6 neuroscience labs, proves you absolutely can. People are using it from their couch and reporting unexpected bank deposits, cleared debts, and upgraded lives. It takes less than 30 seconds, but this secret won't stay online long. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. Stop holding on to pain that's already been carried to the cross. Stop trying to carry battles that belong to the Lord. You've been tired because you're fighting in your own strength. But the Word says the Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. Do you hear that He never asked you to have it all figured out? He never asked you to be perfect. He just asked you to trust Him, to make room to say yes, and you're scared. I know trust is hard when you've been hurt. Faith feels risky when the past is full of letdowns. But God is not people. He does not lie. He does not fail. He does not promise what He won't finish. And if He says He's with you, He is. Even now, even here, even in your mess, in your fear, in your doubt, this is your moment to respond. You've skipped Him too many times. Don't skip this. Not when heaven is still calling your name. Not when grace is still within reach. Comment 222 if you trust this. God is ready to pour peace over you in a way you've never felt. But you have to stop resisting. Stop second-guessing. You are His. You've always been. And He's reaching you now because something unexpected is near, and He wants you protected, prepared, and positioned for what's coming. Don't miss it this time. That's not just emotion. That's not your imagination. That's the presence of the living God knocking again. And this time you didn't skip past Him. You're still here because something in you knows this is more than just a video. This is divine alignment. You need to understand how much you mean to Him, not just in words, but in truth. He made you. Every breath in your lungs is from Him. And yet, when you cry at night, He doesn't turn away. When your heart is heavy and you say nothing, He still listens. You don't have to perform to be loved by Him. You don't have to earn what He already gave on the cross, but He longs for you to stop pushing Him away. Every time you silence that voice calling you back, it wounds His heart. Not because He's angry, but because He loves you that deeply. Comment 333 if you believe He loves you even now. Let this sink in. You were never alone. Even in your darkest hour, He was there. Even when you cursed the sky, He stayed. Not one tear has ever gone unnoticed. He remembers the things you've tried to forget, the pain you buried, the shame you carry, the choices you regret. And still He calls you His child. You've skipped too many of His signs, but this one is your second chance. Don't shut your eyes this time. There's something He needs you to hear, something that could change everything. God is not done with you. He's just getting started. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days are behind you, that the damage is too deep, the scars too visible, the past too heavy. But God's word says otherwise. He says, I am making all things new, not some all. That includes your story. That includes the parts you don't speak about. He's not intimidated by your mess. He's not disgusted by your weakness. In fact, His strength is made perfect in your weakness. He wants to rebuild the life that was torn apart, but you have to stop skipping the foundation. And that foundation is Him. Right now, heaven is moving around your situation. You can't see it, but things are shifting. What felt stuck is starting to stir. That sickness you feared, that loss you've been grieving, that door that stayed closed, it's not the end. God is the author of your story, and He doesn't end on a loss. But you must surrender the pen. You've tried writing your own chapters, and they've left you empty. Give Him back the pen. Let Him write healing into your life again. There are angels assigned to you. Protection surrounds you more than you know. That car accident that almost happened but didn't. That time you felt a sudden pull away from a bad choice. That person who walked out and left you crushed, but later you saw it saved you from deeper pain. All of that was God's hand. You've been kept because you're called. Don't take that lightly. You're not ordinary. You're chosen, and the weight you feel, that's because the calling on your life is heavy. But the one who called you will also carry you. Comment 555 if you believe you're called for something more. The enemy's biggest goal is to distract you, to make you too busy, too hurt, too distracted, to notice God's voice. And when you skip the moments where God is speaking, you miss the very help you've been praying for. You're tired because you've been running in circles hoping something breaks. But God says, be still and know that I am God. Not just when things are easy. Even now, even when you're confused, especially when you feel like giving up, that's when He does His best work. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to see how it all fits. All He's asking is that you trust Him enough to stop running, to stop brushing Him off. What if the very thing you've been asking for is on the other side of your surrender? What if the miracle is waiting, but you're delaying it by refusing to open your heart? God doesn't need perfection. He wants honesty. Come to Him as you are, with the pain, with the doubt, with the sin, with the brokenness. He can handle all of it. He just wants you back. Look at how far He's brought you. You're still standing. You've survived things that others didn't. You've cried tears no one saw and still woke up the next day. That's grace. That's proof that He hasn't let you go. And now more than ever, He's reaching again, not with condemnation, but with compassion. He's saying, return to me. I'm not done. I still have plans for you, good ones. What if everything you've been taught about money is a lie? A hidden 9-word prayer buried in a classified FBI report is now helping thousands attract wealth without lifting a finger. Scientists say it activates a 150-million-year-old part of your brain that controls abundance. Harvard-backed lab tested life-changing. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The Bible says, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's not just for others. That's for you. Your name is written in heaven. You were created for purpose. That anxiety that's been hovering over you, it's not your identity. That fear that grips you at night, it's not your future. That mistake you can't shake, it's not your name. You are loved. You are redeemed. You are still being pursued by the one who leaves the 99 just to find the one that wandered. And you are that one. Don't miss this moment. Don't brush it off like the others. This time is different. God is not reaching to scare you. He's reaching to save you. And not just spiritually, but emotionally, mentally, even physically. That situation you've been secretly stressing about, He already sees it. And His hand is already working behind the scenes. You may not feel it yet, but your faith is the doorway. Every time you say yes to Him, even in the smallest way, heaven responds. Because the time is getting closer and what's coming is not small. This isn't about fear. It's about preparation. Heaven is trying to get your attention because your life is standing at the edge of a shift. And whether that shift brings blessing or breakdown will depend on whether you respond now. Don't treat this moment lightly. You were meant to hear this. Comment 1212 if you believe this is for you. Some of you have been living in a fog. You get up, you go through the day, but deep inside you feel numb. You've prayed, but it felt like your words bounced off the ceiling. You've asked for signs, but maybe you didn't recognize them. Or maybe you saw them, but doubted yourself. Let me tell you clearly, this is your sign. God has been trying to reach you, but the noise of life has drowned Him out. And the enemy loves when that happens, because a distracted heart is a vulnerable heart. He's been using delay, disappointment, even fatigue to keep you from hearing what God's been saying. But today, your spirit heard it. That's why you're still listening. That's why this moment is hitting differently. The fog is starting to lift, and God is calling you out of the numbness and back into fire. Not the fire of pain, but the fire of purpose. He never meant for you to just survive. You were made to rise, but you cannot rise while staying disconnected from the one who gives you wings. This isn't about religion. It's about relationship. God isn't interested in just rituals and Sunday performances. He wants your heart, every piece of it, even the messy parts. You've skipped too many of His calls. Every time your heart stirred and you pushed it down. Every time you said, "Not now, God." Every time you told yourself you'd come back to Him after things got better. But He's not waiting for your life to be perfect. He's waiting for your yes, the broken yes, the trembling yes, the tired yes. That's enough for Him. He doesn't need your strength. He gives it. He doesn't need your perfection. He covers your weakness. What He wants is your trust. Comment 777 if you feel God pulling you right now. You may not see the full picture yet, but you don't have to. That's the beauty of faith. You move before the answer shows up because you trust the one who goes before you. And God has already gone before you in this. He knew you'd be here in this exact moment, hearing this exact truth. He knew the pain you'd walk through. He knew the weight you'd carry. And He also knew you'd need to hear this before you made your next move, because the next move matters. And He doesn't want you walking into it blindly. There's something about to unfold in your life. It's going to look sudden. People might even call it a coincidence. But you'll know better. You'll know it was the result of this moment, this shift in your heart. God works in patterns, in promises, in perfect timing. And when He moves, it's swift and sure. But He needs your heart to be in the right place so you can carry what's coming. Because some blessings require preparation. You can't pour new wine into old wineskins, and God can't pour new favor into a heart still clinging to fear and bitterness. You've been holding on to some things too long, people who hurt you, seasons that broke you, words that wounded you. God is not asking you to pretend it didn't happen. He's asking you to release it so He can heal it. There's a weight on your shoulders that wasn't meant to stay there. He wants to lift it, but you have to let go. Surrender isn't weakness. It's the doorway to strength. It's where healing begins. And if you're brave enough to say, God, I give this to you, He's ready to flood your life with peace like you've never known. You're not forgotten. That lie has to die here. The thought that God only blesses other people, that somehow you've been passed over, that is not truth. You're not behind. You are not invisible. You are not too broken. You are in the palm of His hand. The same God who parted seas, who raised the dead, who shut the mouths of lions, that God is watching over you. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you. And when God chooses someone, no enemy can unchoose them. Why are neuroscientists obsessed with a 9-word sentence? Because this sentence, spoken once a day, is turning financial stress into sudden blessings. More than 19,000 people have already used it to erase debt and unlock a life of wealth, freedom, and peace. The results are so powerful, some believe it's divine. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You don't have to fear what's coming. Yes, something unexpected is near, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's beyond your control, but not beyond His. The same God who saw the storm coming also prepared your shelter. You don't need to panic. You need to posture your heart. Get rooted in Him. Speak His name in your home. Read His word out loud. Walk into the next day knowing that whatever rises, you are not walking alone. The power that raised Jesus from the grave lives in you. That is your covering. That is your strength. Some of you have been waiting for a word, a confirmation, a push. This is it. You've waited long enough. The time for hesitation is over. It's time to choose God again. Not half-heartedly, not just in crisis, but fully. He wants to walk with you in every part of your life, not just when you're broken. Let Him into the places you've kept locked up. Let Him heal what you've stopped even praying about. He hasn't given up on you. That dream you buried, He remembers it. That part of you that stopped hoping, He wants to bring it back to life. Miracles haven't stopped. God is still in the business of healing, of restoring, of flipping situations overnight. But He's looking for hearts that will believe again. Hearts that will trust even when it hurts. That's where the breakthrough happens. Not when everything looks good, but when you believe even when it doesn't. That kind of faith shakes the heavens. And you have that inside of you. Even if it's just a mustard seed, it's enough. He can work with that. He will move mountains for that. You've spent too many nights thinking, maybe He stopped caring. Maybe your prayers aren't getting through. Maybe He turned His back, but He never left. Even when your heart felt cold, even when your spirit felt empty, God was there waiting, watching, protecting, and now He's calling louder because He knows what's coming. He sees what you don't. And He's trying to get your attention before you step into something without Him. This isn't a warning to scare you. It's a wake-up call to protect you. Comment 999 if you believe God is waking something up inside you. Don't ignore this moment. Don't treat this like just another passing word. You've asked for direction. You've cried for clarity. But when God shows up quietly in a whisper, in a moment like this, are you willing to hear Him? Are you willing to stop scrolling long enough to realize this could be the very answer you've been waiting for? God speaks in the stillness. He moves when we pause. And maybe the reason things have felt stuck is because you haven't slowed down enough to receive. God knows how weary your soul is, how tired you are of pretending to be strong. You've been carrying pain that no one else knows about. You've been breaking silently, and even the people closest to you don't see the full weight of it. But God does. He sees beyond the smile, past the silence, right into the middle of your wounds. And He's not repelled by it. He's moved by it. He wants to heal the places you've tried to ignore, the ones you think are too far gone. There is no scar too deep for the hands that were pierced for you. You may feel forgotten by people, but you are seen by heaven. Heaven has never taken its eyes off you. There are prayers you whispered years ago that God still remembers. He has not abandoned His plans for your life. He has not given up. The timeline may look different from what you expected, but the promise hasn't changed. What He spoke over you is still alive. But you must stop running from His presence and start sitting in it. You've tried everything else? Isn't it time to return to the one who never left? God doesn't just want to fix what's broken. He wants to restore what was lost. Joy, peace, trust, confidence, passion. The parts of you that hardship stole, He's bringing them back. But restoration doesn't come through rushing. It comes through surrender. You don't need a 5-step plan. You need one step. Come back. Just come. Even if you feel unworthy, especially if you feel unworthy, His love covers everything you think disqualifies you. You're not too late. That's a lie the enemy uses to keep you stuck. God doesn't look at your past and see failure. He sees a child who's still breathing, which means there's still purpose. There's still hope. You're not waiting for permission to be loved. You already are. You're not trying to earn your way back into His arms. You never left them. Even when you rebelled, even when you ignored Him, even when you skipped His voice 100 times, He stayed. Comment 1515 if you believe it's not too late for you. You're not reading this because of luck. You're reading this because God's mercy is still chasing you. That feeling in your chest right now, that pull, that's not anxiety. That's the Spirit stirring something inside you. Don't ignore it. Don't silence it. This is the start of something holy, something real, something lasting. God is about to shift things in your life. Not just the external stuff, but the internal battles. The fear you wake up with, the sadness that lingers at night, the weight that doesn't lift. Even when life looks okay on the outside, He's going after that. The deep places, the hidden pain. He's coming not just to comfort you, but to heal you fully. But you have to let Him in, not halfway. Not only on the days you feel strong, every day, every piece. Some of you have built walls so high around your heart because you've been hurt even by people who claim to represent God. And now your guard is up not just toward others, but toward Him. But He's not like them. He doesn't manipulate. He doesn't abandon. He doesn't take advantage of broken hearts. He restores them. You've been wounded in sacred places, and God knows how to handle those wounds with gentleness. Let Him. This banned wealth signal was hidden in a government vault for over 70 years, until now. It's a simple 9-word brain trigger used by elites to attract unlimited money while the rest of the world struggles. But the moment too many people see this, it could be deleted. Click the link in the description and comments before it's taken down forever. There's a breakthrough coming, but it starts with obedience. It starts with choosing to hear when He speaks, to stop skipping the nudge, to stop brushing off the conviction. He's not trying to control you. He's trying to save you from things you don't see yet. From pain that could be avoided, from delays that don't need to happen. Every time you say yes to His voice, you make room for Him to move. This is not just about a spiritual moment. It's about your future, your relationships, your calling, your peace. When God reaches out, it's because He's making a way where there hasn't been one. But your response is the key. Don't hold back. Don't shut down. Don't wait until everything falls apart to give Him what He's asking for now. There is more for you. More than just surviving. More than just pretending you're okay. More than empty scrolling and numb routines. You were created to walk in power, in peace, in freedom. But you can't do that while staying disconnected from the source of all life. He's not reaching for you out of duty. He's reaching because He loves you, because He misses you, because He knows the storm that's near and wants you under His covering before it breaks. And in all of that, God was still there, waiting patiently, waiting lovingly, not forcing but inviting, not demanding but drawing. And you being here proves that His love is still reaching through all of it right now. You've skipped His voice before. You've overlooked the signs. You've turned away from the gentle nudges. And He knows why. Maybe you were hurt. Maybe you didn't think you deserved to be close to Him. Or maybe life just got loud and hard. But despite all of it, He's still speaking. He's still calling your name. And He's saying, come home. Come back to the peace you've been missing. Come back to the joy you haven't felt in years. Come back to the purpose that was planted in you before you were even born. You're not too far gone. You're not too broken. You're not too late. And you're not the exception. You're exactly the one He's calling. Not because you're perfect, but because you're His. Comment 1 if you believe that God still wants you. Let this sink in. There's been a war over your attention. The enemy knows that if he can keep you distracted, he can keep you disconnected. He's used pain, failure, disappointment, and fear to make you question whether God even sees you anymore. But God sees. And He's been moving in quiet ways behind the scenes, even when you didn't notice. That closed door, that sudden redirection, that unexpected pause. It was never random. It was protection. It was mercy. It was the hand of a loving Father pulling you out of something before it crushed you. You've been so focused on what didn't happen, you didn't notice what didn't hurt you. The accident that never came, the betrayal that didn't break you, the breakdown that never fully swallowed you. You made it through things that should have destroyed you, and you didn't even realize you were being shielded. That's how closely God's been walking with you. He's never been far. You've just been looking the other way. He's not angry. He's not keeping score. He's just reaching again because He wants to walk with you, not just rescue you in crisis, but stay with you through the calm, through the joy, through the everyday life you've been trying to manage on your own. You weren't meant to do this alone. That's why you've been tired in ways rest can't fix. Because your soul has been running on empty, and only God can fill that space. You've been feeling something shifting lately, haven't you? That restlessness, that strange pressure on your heart, that feeling that something's about to break open, that's not stress, that's the Spirit preparing you. Heaven is getting ready to release something over your life, and this message is part of that preparation, because you can't carry what's coming with a distracted heart. God needs your attention. He needs your agreement, and most of all, He needs your trust. Comment 1717 if you believe God is preparing something for you. There is a battle for your focus because your future is valuable. You don't fight this hard for something meaningless. The weight you feel is proof of the worth inside you. The enemy wouldn't be attacking so much if there weren't something powerful ahead. That anxiety, that fear, that mental battle that makes you question everything. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're a threat. The enemy knows what happens when you finally say yes to God. When you stop skipping His voice and start walking in His power chains, break cycles, end generations, change legacies are rewritten. But it all starts with your yes, not a loud one, not a perfect one, just a real one. A whisper from your soul that says, God, I'm tired of running. I want to come back. That's where healing begins. That's where strength is restored. That's where the peace you've been chasing finally floods in. You were never meant to live in survival mode. God created you to thrive, to walk in boldness, to move in purpose, to speak life. But you can't do that while skipping His presence. You can't hear clearly when your heart is only half listening. And that's why this moment matters. Because it's not just about hearing a message. It's about deciding to listen to the one who knows what's ahead. And what's ahead is big. You may not feel ready. You may not feel worthy. But God doesn't choose based on how strong you feel. He chooses based on who you are to Him. And to Him, you're not a mistake. You're not forgotten. You're not overlooked. You're a child loved, seen, held. You don't need to fight for His attention. You already have it. The question is, will you give Him yours? Can just saying 9 words daily actually make money flow into your life? A top neuroscientist says yes, and the FBI accidentally confirmed it. This forgotten prayer is now transforming ordinary people into debt-free and financially free for life. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. Let this be the moment where everything changes. Not because something dramatic happens outside, but because something shifts inside, because your heart finally says yes, because you finally stop brushing Him off and start leaning in. That's all He's ever wanted. To be close, to walk with you, to speak to you daily, to comfort you, to guide you, to love you fully. And He's doing that now. If your heart is heavy, give it to Him. If your mind is racing, bring it to Him. If you're afraid, let Him hold you. You don't have to fix yourself first. You just have to show up. He'll do the rest. He always has. You've lived too long in survival mode. You've learned how to smile through pain, how to keep going when everything inside you was begging to stop. But God didn't create you just to survive. He created you to walk in joy, in strength, in power. And that starts when you stop running from His presence. Not because He needs you, but because you desperately need Him. He knows how you've tried to fill the void. He's seen you reach for things that only left you emptier. He knows the moments you stayed up late because the silence felt too loud. He saw you pick up your phone instead of your Bible. He watched you drown in worry, even though he was standing right there with peace in his hands, waiting for you to look up. But instead, you scrolled past him again. You turned to everything else but him. But not this time. This time you stayed. You paused. You listened. That might not seem like much to you, but in the spiritual realm, it changes everything. That pause broke a cycle. That pause opened a door. That pause let the Spirit step in. Comment, Amen, if you feel something breaking open in your spirit right now. There are things that have tried to bury you. Grief, trauma, betrayal, confusion, but God didn't let them. You're still standing. And that's proof enough that His hand has been on you. You didn't survive on your own. Don't forget that. It wasn't your strength, your plans, or your willpower that kept you breathing. It was His mercy, His grace. And He's not finished. He didn't carry you this far just to leave you now. But He's calling for your attention because what's next requires preparation. You can't step into the next season with the same mindset that's been holding you back. God wants to give you more, but He can't pour new wine into old wineskins. You've got to make room. That means letting go of distractions, confessing what's been hidden, and giving God space to speak. He doesn't want just a corner of your life. He wants the whole thing. You might be thinking, I've failed too many times. I keep slipping back. But listen, God isn't afraid of your failure. He already knew every time you'd fall, and He chose you anyway. That's the kind of love we're talking about here. Love that stays, love that covers, love that redeems. You don't need to hide from Him anymore. There's nothing He doesn't already know. And still He calls you His. You've been chosen. That's why you feel this tug. That's why your heart is stirring. It's not guilt. It's a holy invitation. An invitation back into alignment, back into peace, back into the arms of the only one who's ever truly loved you without conditions. The only one who saw you at your worst and still whispered, "You're mine." Comment 222 if you're ready to return fully to God. Let's be honest, you've tried to do this on your own. You've tried to push through, stay strong, fix things, make sense of everything. But it's left you exhausted. That's not how you were created to live. You were made to lean. You were made to abide. The strength you need doesn't come from within. It comes from above. And it's available to you the moment you say, "God, I surrender." God's not waiting for fancy prayers or perfect behavior. He's waiting for honesty. He's waiting for the moment your heart cracks open enough to let Him in. That's when the healing starts. That's when the freedom begins. You've been carrying chains around your heart that He already broke. All you need to do is walk out of the prison door. But it takes a decision, a quiet, simple, desperate decision to say, I'm not skipping His voice this time. I'm not pushing Him aside. I'm not pretending I'm okay. I want Him. I need Him. There's nothing wrong with needing God. In fact, that's the most honest, beautiful, powerful place you can be. It's where transformation begins. It's where peace returns. It's where the storms inside you finally start to calm. Don't let this moment pass without responding. You've skipped enough. You've waited long enough. And God's waited with you. But now is the time. Now is the turning point. Now is the beginning of a new thing. What God is about to do in your life won't look like what you expected. It won't come on your schedule. It won't fit your plan. But it will be better, bigger, deeper, freer. But only if you say yes. Only if you keep your heart open. Only if you let Him in completely. You've been through more than most people can imagine. Some of your deepest wounds don't even have words. And yet, here you are, still standing, still seeking, still hoping. That alone is a miracle. But God didn't bring you through all that just to leave you tired, confused, or empty. He brought you through to bring you closer, to show you that His love was never based on your performance. It was never about how well you behaved or how perfect your walk was. It was always about His grace, His mercy, His unshakable love for you. Why are 55 countries using the same mysterious money script? Because a leaked research file just exposed a 9-word pattern that activates wealth attracting pathways in the brain. Repeat it daily and watch money flow like water into your life. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You've skipped too many of His messages before thinking maybe they weren't for you. Maybe you didn't deserve them. Maybe they were meant for people who prayed more, who believed more, who looked more put together. But that's not how God works. He meets you exactly where you are, in the middle of your brokenness, in the middle of your doubts, in the middle of your ordinary day. He reaches into your ordinary moment and says, "This one's for you. You are not a mistake. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. God is still writing your story. And the chapter ahead looks nothing like the chapter you just came out of." Comment 1313 if you believe your next chapter will be better than your last. The enemy would love nothing more than to convince you that this moment doesn't matter. That this is just another emotional moment you'll forget tomorrow, that nothing will change. But the enemy is terrified of what happens when you believe again, when you pray again, when you trust again, because he knows what happens when you stop skipping God's voice and start obeying it. Strongholds break, cycles end. Peace returns. You become dangerous to darkness when you realize who you belong to. You belong to the one who walked on water, the one who fed thousands with scraps, the one who turned weeping into dancing, death into life, shame into purpose. You belong to the King who conquered the grave. And yet, with all his power, he still chooses to whisper to you, to chase after your heart, to gently call your name over and over. No matter how many times you've turned away, there's nothing in your past too heavy for his hands. He's not scared of what scares you. He's not overwhelmed by your confusion. He's not surprised by your sin. He knew every piece of you before you ever took your first breath. And still he said, "This one is mine." So why do you keep thinking you need to fix yourself before coming to him? That's not how grace works. You come as you are, tired, angry, bitter, afraid, ashamed. He takes it all, and in return, he gives you rest. He gives you peace. He gives you healing, not because you earned it, but because he loves you. If you knew how many times God has already protected you, you would fall to your knees in gratitude. There were dangers you didn't even see, accidents that were moments away, people who would have harmed you, paths that would have destroyed you. But he blocked them silently, faithfully. And not once did he ask for applause. He just did it because that's who he is. A father who watches over his children even when they don't realize it. Comment 777 if you know God has been protecting you even in silence. You don't need to keep carrying this by yourself. that weight on your heart. You weren't meant to bear it alone. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Not advice, not rules, not judgment, rest. You've been craving peace. But peace doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. When you finally say, "God, I can't do this without you," that's when peace shows up. You've said those words in your mind before, haven't you? "God, I can't keep doing this." You've whispered them through tears. You've cried them into your pillow. Maybe no one else heard you, but He did. And this is His answer. You don't have to. I've got you. I've always had you. Just come back. It's not about being perfect. It's about being willing. Are you willing to lay it down? Are you willing to stop skipping the signs, the nudges, the moments where God clearly tries to get through to you? Because He is trying. Not once, not twice. Constantly, through people, through Scripture, through moments like this. And not because He's desperate, but because He's determined. Determined to see you walk in freedom. Determined to see you healed. Determined to see the chains that have been on your family for generations finally break with you. You are not just another person on a screen. You are someone God is choosing to reach right now because He sees you're ready. He knows the time is now. Something is coming. You can feel it. The air feels different. Your spirit is stirring. That's not random. That's God preparing you. But preparation starts with obedience, with humility, with a simple surrendered heart. Don't miss what He's doing because you are too busy trying to make sense of it all. Some things you won't understand until later. But peace doesn't come from understanding. It comes from trusting the one who understands everything. You've walked through seasons where it felt like God was silent, where your prayers felt unanswered. And yet, here you are, not by accident, but by divine purpose. Because God has been reaching for you the whole time. You may not feel holy, you may not feel worthy. But God never based His love on your feelings. He based it on His promise. He said He would never leave you. And He hasn't. Not for a moment. Even in the times you ignored Him. Even when your heart wandered far, even when you went searching for love and peace, in the wrong places He stayed watching, waiting, protecting you, even from what you thought you wanted. That's love. That's who He is. And now He's whispering again. Come home, not to a place, but to His presence. Come home to the peace you've forgotten. Come home to the rest your soul is crying out for. Come home to the arms that never grew tired of reaching for you. This isn't about religion. This isn't about rules. This is about a relationship with the one who made you, knows you, and still chooses you. Comment 666 if you know He's still choosing you even now. What secret did the FBI hide about your brain and money? They discovered a phrase just 9 words long that flips a switch in your mind to attract wealth without effort. It's already changed the lives of thousands of people in just weeks. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. This life has tried to wear you down. It's thrown loss, fear, and disappointment your way. And the weight of it all has made you question if God even hears you. But He does. And what you need to understand is this. Just because He's been silent doesn't mean He's been absent. Some of God's greatest work is done in silence. In the moments where you think nothing is happening, everything is being aligned, you see the delay, but he sees the perfect time. You see the closed door, but he sees the protection. You see the pain, but he sees the growth it's producing in you. Nothing is wasted. Not a tear, not a day, not a single ache in your chest. He's been collecting all of it, and now he's preparing to return beauty for the ashes. But first, he needs your heart fully, not halfway, not just on Sundays every day, every part. That's why this message has come to you, because there's more ahead. But what's ahead requires you to be anchored in him. If you don't slow down now and listen to his voice, you'll walk into something he never meant for you. Not because he's punishing you, but because he gave you free will, and he won't force himself into your life. But the moment you say, "God, I'm yours," everything changes. Heaven moves. Doors open. Peace floods in. You don't have to pretend anymore. Not with him. He already sees what no one else sees. He knows the thoughts that keep you up at night. He knows the wounds you hide behind smiles. He knows the doubts you wrestle with. And still he's here, not turning away, not giving up, but drawing closer. This isn't about a temporary emotional lift. This is about a life-altering decision, a moment where your spirit finally says, "I've had enough of empty. I want real. I want him." Comment 1414 if you're ready for something real. You've seen what the world has to offer. You've tasted the temporary. You've chased peace through people, things, money, approval, and every time it left you thirstier. That's because nothing in this world can fill a God-shaped space. Your soul was made by him, for him. No relationship, no success, no distraction can ever replace him. You've been marked by heaven. You were set apart before you were even born. That's why you've never quite fit in. That's why certain paths never worked out, no matter how much you wanted them to. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Because God's hand has been on you all along, guiding, blocking, shaping, preparing. Now he's saying, "Enough hiding, enough running, enough skipping the very words I've been sending to rescue you. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply, wildly loved. And nothing can separate you from that love unless you walk away from it. But you don't want to walk away. That's why you're still here. Something in you knows this is holy ground. That God is speaking directly to your heart. Not shouting, just whispering gently. Like a father who's not trying to scare you, but save you, like a shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one. And you are that one. He doesn't need you to have it all together. He just wants you to be honest. Say, "God, I don't know how to fix this, but I trust you can." Say, "God, I don't feel strong, but I give you what I have." That's all he's asking for. A real heart, a surrendered heart, a heart that's tired of running. Because when you stop running, he starts restoring. He starts rebuilding what was broken. He starts resurrecting what you thought was dead. Hope, joy, dreams, purpose. He brings it all back to life. But only when you let him in. You're still here, and that means something in your heart is finally awake. You've heard God calling before, but this time you didn't walk away. You didn't let it pass. You didn't let doubt drown it out. That's powerful. That's sacred. That's the beginning of everything shifting because of your willingness to pause, to listen, to receive. This is where restoration starts. This is where chains begin to fall. Not because you forced it, but because you finally let him in. You've been carrying pain quietly. The kind of pain that doesn't always look obvious. It hides behind busy schedules, polite smiles, and keeping it all together. But God sees it. He's always seen it. Every silent cry, every disappointed prayer, every moment you felt like nobody truly understood, He did. He always has. And He's not looking at you with judgment. He's looking at you with compassion, with love, with arms still wide open. He doesn't just want to lift your burdens. He wants to walk through it with you. Because He never promised that life would be easy. But He did promise He'd never leave you in it alone. That's what this moment is. His voice breaking through the noise, reaching through your weariness, gently saying, "You don't have to keep going like this. I'm here. Let me help." Comment 888 if you're ready to let Him in. You've grown used to skipping moments like this, not out of disrespect, but out of habit. Life taught you to be skeptical, to be guarded, to question everything. So when God has tried to reach you in the past, you didn't recognize Him. Or worse, you assumed He wasn't really speaking to you. You thought that's probably for someone else, someone more spiritual, someone more worthy. But you were wrong. He's always been speaking to you. And even now, if there's a small part of you that's still resisting, that's okay. God is patient. He's not here to pressure you. He's here to love you, to heal the places that life damaged, to remind you of who you really are, not what the world labeled you, not what your past defined you as, but who He created you to be. You are not weak. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not unlovable. You are not a failure. You are a child of God. You've been set apart, protected, chosen, and it's time you started living like you believe that. Not from a place of pride, but from a place of confidence in who your Father is. A neuroscientist says, yes, a 9-word script long buried in government files can fire up a prehistoric brainwave that pulls money in faster. This breakthrough is already under legal pressure and could disappear any second. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. He hasn't changed. The same God who opened the sea for Moses, who gave strength to David, who stood in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who met the woman at the well when no one else would even look her way. That same God is with you now. He's still parting seas. He's still fighting giants. He's still showing up in the fire. He's still loving the overlooked, and you are not overlooked. Comment 1 if you believe God still works miracles in your life. This world has tried to numb your faith. Bad news, hard days, disappointment after disappointment. It's made you cautious with hope. You pray, but you don't always expect the answer. You dream, but you don't fully believe it'll come true. You believe in God, but part of you doubts if He'll really come through for you. And yet here you are, still reaching, still hoping, still listening. That faith, even if it's only the size of a mustard seed, is enough. God can work with that. He can take your fragile faith and do the impossible. But you've got to let Him have your heart again. Not just when it's convenient, not just when you're desperate. Every day through every season, He's not looking for your perfection. He's after your surrender. That's what this moment is about. Not guilt, not shame, just a chance to begin again. A clean slate, a fresh start, a homecoming. You've tried to hold things together on your own, but it's okay to fall apart in His presence. It's okay to say, God, I can't carry this anymore. He'll meet you in that place, and He'll lift what you were never meant to carry. There's more for you than just surviving. You weren't created just to get by. You were created to walk in freedom, in peace, and joy that isn't controlled by circumstances. But that comes when you stop skipping God's presence, when you stop brushing aside the moments when He's clearly trying to reach you, when you stop assuming you're too far gone. You are not too far gone. You're not too lost. You are not beyond saving. God doesn't give up on people. He redeems them. He rebuilds what was destroyed. He breathes life into dry places. He restores years that the enemy tried to steal. And He's ready to do that for you. But He won't force His way in. He waits for your invitation. He waits for the whisper of your heart that says, "God, I need you." That's when everything changes. That's when peace replaces fear. That's when strength floods your weakness. That's when your story begins to be rewritten. You've been marked by purpose since the beginning. Nothing that's happened to you has canceled that. Every heartbreak, every mistake, every delay, God is still using it. He's working all things together for good. Even the things you regret, even the things you thought were too broken to fix. He can take the shattered pieces and make something more beautiful than you imagined. But you have to give Him the pieces. Don't hold on to the pain like it's all you have left. Let Him have it. Lay it down and trust that what He gives in return will be better than what you lost.